Ayan, sakto. Nahuli pa akong ano, humihikab a few seconds. Akala ko may 5 seconds pa ako dito sa timer ta's biglang lumitaw yung itsura ko sa live. Anyway, so yeah, it's 9:08 PM and yeah, we're live sa season 2, episode 2 ng Kage Thoughts. And well, medyo naghihilom naman na yung ano, yung swelling on my left eye. Pero yan, hindi pa rin siya gano'n ka-presentable. So magse-shades pa rin tayo tonight, probably until tomorrow. Ayan, pero so far naman, no pain na whatsoever, no light sensitivity. Ayan, quick update lang on myself. Alright, sige. So mukha namang na-sound check ko na 'to, so naririnig ako, for the previous lives. Ina-assume ko na naririnig niyo ako ngayon. So, kayo na bahala kung gusto niyong mag-comment on the stuff na pag-uusapan natin tonight. But yeah, season 2, episode 2 of Kage Thoughts. Tonight we're gonna touch on one of my favorite na spectrums. Sobrang gamit na gamit 'to sa buhay ko. And kagabi we touched on ano, yung pagiging spontaneous versus pagiging structured. Okay? And I revealed na ako mismo mas spontaneous ako than structured. I'm basically 80% spontaneous and 20% structured. Inaral ko lang yung structure in my life, pero mas go with the flow talaga ako na type of person. Okay? And yung essence naman ng more responsibility and more fun, magkadikit kasi yun sa ano, sa pagiging spontaneous at saka sa pagiging structured. Okay? So responsibility, as I have observed, yung mga people with high sense of responsibility, mas madalas nagle-lean din sila towards structure. And yung mga, people naman na mas ano, mas gravitate towards enjoyment or fun, mas nagle-lean sila towards the spontaneous. Okay? So ano lang naman yan, observations, hindi naman yan totoo sa 100%, sa lahat ng tao. Okay? But tonight, let's talk about responsibility versus enjoyment. Okay. Sakto dito si Matt, he's a good friend of mine, and so he's actually from sa finance niche 'no, finance industry. So kung may mga tanong kayo about finance, ayan, Jason Matthew Alamar, he's the guy. And merong isang event actually na ginagawa si Matt in different places sa Philippines. It's called Finance Fleet, no, where he gathers iba't ibang mga individuals 'no, and normally nag-uusap lang about finances. And isa sa pinaka-natatandaan ko when I joined yung finance fleet sa Cebu 'no, Cebu City, is yung question about delayed gratification 'no. So, in essence yung responsibility versus enjoyment, 'yan. May ano 'yan, eh, may in relation to delayed gratification. So, parang ang idea is mas, mas magiging responsible ka ba with your finances right now? So there's your savings, there's your emergency funds, there's allocations in different jars or buckets, 'di ba? Meron pang survival, meron pang play jar, merong travel jar and all that. Depende sa'yo. Merong education jar, learning, depende. Mas gano'n ba? Like will you put some structure there? Pero meron ding mga bagay na hindi mo naman talaga alam kung hanggang kailan ka mabubuhay. So, mag-iipon ka na lang ba until retirement? Eh, paano kung di ka na umabot ng retirement, 'di ba? So, may mga expenses ka ba na pinagpapaliban ngayon? Kasi like mag-iipon ka pa, eh, mas kailangan maging responsable, pero merong mga stuff na gusto mong bilhin ngayon na mag-e-enjoy ka, pero pinipigilan mo yung sarili mo with. Okay, so yung may mga ganyan, eh. So, may topic on delayed gratification. Related lang siya and naalala ko kasi andiyan si Matt nanonood. Thanks for for always tuning in, bro. And quick shameless plug, alam ko like DVA. Pero yan, there's gonna be a finance fleet up in Baguio later this month. So I'll be there as well. So sa mga Baguio friends diyan who wants to join us talking about casually talking about finances, like your relationship with money, money mindset, even the practical technical stuff, no, earning uh earning money, saving money, and like handling it, management. So yun, you can join us. Di ko alam kung kailan maglalabas ng iba pang details, but yeah, heads up lang. Anyway, going back to responsibility versus enjoyment. Okay? So, mahalaga na makita natin dito kung saan yung mas natural sa atin. Depende kasi kung ano yung mga naranasan natin sa buhay, ano yung mga circumstances that we are in. Meron tayong mas natural dun sa dalawa, eh. Mas nag-run ba tayo towards responsibility or eto yung mga kailangan and eto yung mga bawal. Okay? So there's rules, there's regulation, there's obligation. No, yung feeling na eto yung dapat and then eto yung mga bawal. Okay? And then I have to conform to this. Meron din diyang sense na meron kang specific na function, meron kang specific na role, minsan it comes with a title as well. So, may responsibilidad yung isang tatay, may responsibilidad yung isang nanay, bilang anak may responsibilities. So, eto yung, may expectations na kaagad kung paano dapat mag-decide at gumalaw on a specific, scenario, okey? So, that's more about responsibility na, ah, kapag mas nage-gear ka towards that, then mas yun nga, mas may structure in a sense, no? Um The idea with enjoyment, on the other hand, though, when you're gearing towards enjoyment, it's more about exploration. It's more about actually not necessarily breaking the rules, but like bending the rules or trying to find out kung hanggang saan talaga yung boundaries. Okay? And sometimes lang lumalampas talaga sa boundaries, no? But the idea, it's a more fluid type of attitude and approach to things where the focus is the experience instead of kung ano yung consequences or results. Okay? Responsibility is more about ano yung resulta, no? Be it the positive consequences or the negative consequences. While enjoyment is more about being in the moment. Okay? Like, kumbaga ninanamnam mo lang yung exact experience of what your current reality is like, how your current reality is unfolding, right? So, bawat isang tao, meron silang mas dun sila nagle-lean towards that two ends of the spectrum, 'no? And, just to make it contextual, 'no, puwedeng in one aspect of life you are more responsibility, pero in another aspect of life puwedeng you are more for enjoyment, right? So like, okay, quick scenario, okay. Sa barkada, okay, with friends that I have. When it comes to the friends I have before, kasi dati like barkada and all, like nakikipag-inuman ako, 'no. So when it comes to my friends na taga-computer shop, okey, sa computer shop, yung mga ka-DOTA ko dun and nakikipusta ako dun sa Counter Strike and all that, okey, mga kasama ko sa computer shop. Yung mga barkada ko dun 'pag nag-inuman kami, napupunta ako more on the responsibility side. Kumbaga, yung inuman kasi ng mga barkada ko sa computer shop, basically hindi ka puwedeng umuwi hangga't merong pang bumibili ng alak, okey? Hindi ka puwedeng umuwi kung hindi ka uuwi ng gumagapang, gumugulong or bubuhatin ka na, okey? Gano'n yung mode, okey? So, kapag lumalabas, may inuman and all, di ka puwedeng basta-basta umuwi. Hangga't hindi ubos lahat, hangga't hindi lahat parang wasted dapat, eh. So ako, dahil alam kong gano'n yung mode dun sa circle of friends na yun, ako yung nagiging konsensiya nung barkada. Ako yung nagpapaalala, at the same time safeguard ko yun sa sarili ko na hindi ako umuwi ng super wasted, okey? Ayun, sabi nga at boys buhay mode, gano'n talaga sa computer shop 'pag yun yung inuman before. So doon sa klase na yun ng barkada, responsibility mode ako. Aside from protecting myself, I do my best para makita namin yung boundaries hanggang saan lang kami dapat during, times like that. Funnily enough, when it comes to drinking with neighborhood friends and high school classmates, so magkaibang set pa yun ng kaibigan pero similar sila, doon I can fully enjoy. Because there are other people in that mixed group na sila naman yung magpapaalala and magiging safeguard ko. Sila yung magse-set ng boundaries. There are people inside that group na maaasahan ko to be the responsible people so I can just fully enjoy myself. Sila na yung magsasabi kung okey pa, bibili pa o hindi na or maghahatid sa bahay depende sa circumstance, okey. So, depende sa upbringing natin, merong mga contexts wherein mas nagle-lean tayo sa being the responsible version of ourselves or more towards just the flowing enjoyment in the moment na ano, na version of ourselves. Okay. Um, I understand like in every household merong specific na dynamic as we were growing up. Relationships with parents, kung pang-ilan ka sa magkakapatid 'no, usually yung panganay 'di ba, like napu-push into responsibility, okey? And then, younger siblings depende kung malayo yung agwat nila sa panganay and all. Kapag closer yung agwat sa panganay, well kahit ano, kahit, ah, mas younger sila, mas madalas napu-push pa rin into responsibility. 'Pag mas malayo yung agwat sa panganay, it's really more about enjoyment. Pero kasama din dun kino-consider yung social status. 'Cause from time to time 'pag lumalabas tayo 'di ba, you get to see kids like in their, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, around that age and then nagbebenta na sila ng something sa kalye o kaya namamalimos sila. So, there's the social status side to things as well. So the more the more privileged a person is, the less responsibility yung usually na-realize niya na kailangan niya mag-step into agad, 'no? Kaya most of the time, people na spoil from childhood, they have less sense of responsibility kasi more on nakasanayan nila is the enjoyment side, right? So, for parents out there, yan may mga ano 'to siguro like some of the things you can think about how you are raising your kid, how you are balancing kasi they need to be children na they can enjoy things, but they also need to learn some things and take responsibility and full ownership for some of the things that they will pursue as they grow up. So, um, but the idea, it's good to know with these spectrums, ano ba yung mas natural sa'yo ngayon? And ano yung mas natural sa'yo in a specific area of life? Okay, in a specific area of life. So sa work mo, is it actually more responsibility or more enjoyment? Sa business mo, are you treating your business ang mas natural ba lumalabas, responsibility mo yung business o na-e-enjoy mo yung business? Sa relationships mo, be it with family, your romantic partner, with your kids, with your friends, with colleagues, with clients, ano yung mas essence nung relationships na yun. Because there are relationships na puwedeng like in the realm of family, merong members of the family that feel more like responsibility for you, and merong members of the family na mas enjoyment lang yung mode ng relationship niyo. Even with friends, even with clients, 'di ba? So, it's just good to know, eto multi-layer 'tong spectrum na 'to. Hindi siya like more one size fits all katulad nung, structure versus being spontaneous na topic kagabi sa episode 1 ng season 2. Yun kasi mas overarching siya, eh. In different, across different areas of life, merong mas natural na mas structured, merong mas natural na spontaneous. Itong responsibility versus enjoyment, nag-iiba yung natural sa atin depende sa mode or like yung layer by which it applies 'no, anong area of life, anong area of klase ng relationship 'no. So, it's just good to know, and eto yung extra layers kung bakit, okay. Because there's a different, uh, mindset, thinking, feeling, decisions, and actions usually attached to responsibility and enjoyment, okay. Um Responsibility is more attached to results, to outcomes, okey? And of course, sino ba naman yung gusto ng ng pangit na outcome, 'di ba? So, parang ano lang, eh, parang parang kung papapiliin ka between mapupunta ka sa langit o mapupunta ka sa impyerno, sinong matinong tao yung pipili ng mapupunta siya sa impyerno, like so the idea with that is, ang lagi tayong nagagravitate towards the hope and the effort and the possibility of things going good, 'di ba? Things working out for the best. Eh, yun yung mas natural. We are attached to things working in our favor, to things, na hindi siya maging messed up. To the point na sometimes it can lead to like a sense of perfection 'no. Gosh, hindi ko pala na-timeran yung sarili ko. But I have like 21 minutes here, so wait lang, timeran ko lang 'to real quick. So I have like how many more minutes? Probably 15. Okay, got it. Right. So, looking at this, balikan ko yung thought ko, kaya ko pa nga bang balikan? Ah, okay. 'Pag responsibility is more about the outcomes and the results, and naturally, we want the best results. We want the outcomes to be good, okay? And we get attached to the possibility of those outcomes. Pero di ko alam kung napapansin niyo kung ano yung nagiging epekto rin nun sa atin. When we get too results-oriented because it's our responsibility, eh, usually there's different emotions na na nararamdaman natin kapag gano'n na yung treatment natin sa isang bagay, okey? Tignan mo yung relationship, okey? Mas gusto mo ba ng relationship, like romantic relationship na jowa, asawa, okey? Gusto mo ba ng relationship that feels more like a responsibility than a relationships na than a relationship na mas na-e-enjoy mo, okey? So, just that one question can actually you can see different angles of how this plays out na, 'di ba? So, outcomes are more related to the external side of things, eh. Ano yung itsura ng mga bagay from an observable, point of view. And hindi lang about yung naobserbahan mo as the one creating or contributing to the outcome, but kung ano yung naobserbahan pa ng ibang tao sa paligid mo. Right? Because responsibility comes with a sense of expectation. And hindi lang expectation mo sa sarili mo, naturally attached yan to titles, to roles and functions. So, nasasama din yung expectation ng iba pang mga tao diyan na involved. Either the beneficiaries of your action or the ones that are holding you accountable to that action. Like a boss, a client, employer, like along those lines. Okay? People you said yes to for that specific thing, for that specific action, for that specific responsibility, okay? So, ang napapansin ko is people who gravitate towards more responsibility, mas may sense of, attachment to the outcome, which leads to, uh, worrying, anxiety, fears, if things don't actually work according to plan. So, we need a healthy dose of that, eh. I'm not saying na porket may worry, may anxiety, may fear, ibig sabihin, okey, eh, kung may worry, anxiety, fear, eh, di ano na tayo, wala na tayo dapat sense of responsibility. Okey, these are observations, okey. Pero hindi sa lahat ng pagkakataon, negative lang yung puwedeng mangyari just because there's worry, anxiety, and fear, okey? Merong mga pagkakataon na because of worry, anxiety, and fear, hindi lang naman tayo basta napa-paralyze from taking action. That's one outcome. Right? That's one scenario na nangyayari na minsan when there's a dose of anxiety, worry, fear, napaparalyze tayo, hindi na tayo napapa-take action, okey? Pero nakakatuwa kasi meron ding mga pagkakataon na because of fear, mas gumagalaw tayo. Na because of anxiety and worry, mas gumagalaw tayo, okey? Hindi siya healthy kung yun lang talaga yung nag-iisa mong ano, nag-iisa mong way para mapagalaw ka, okey? Because that's very the experience is not, kumbaga conducive to ano, to well-being, okey? Kung laging ganun lang yung mode. Pero hindi ibig sabihin na na existent yung mga emotions na yun within an experience, puro negative lang yung puwedeng mangyari, okey? Sometimes we get to move because the fear, uh, of staying in the same situation is mas malaki na than the fear of stepping out from that situation, okey? So, there's different angles to it. Like hindi siya laging black and white, situational siya, contextual siya, okey? Um, okey, but that's more responsibility. I hope you're kinda seeing where yung patterns na yun in your own life ay nag-e-emerge o kaya o napapansin mo, 'no? Um, 'Cause when you're aware, you can start, to decide and make changes, okay? Like apply some tweaks, 'no? Kapag hindi ka aware and hindi mo siya nakikita, blindside pa siya sa'yo, 'no? What happens is you'll just carry on in the same way until it's painful enough and then matatauhan ka. Kumbaga kailangan muna nating masaktan before tayo merong baguhin, okey? So, awareness can lead to better options and of course, by exercise of your will, by exercise of your choice, you can pursue better options than where you're at right now or at least try it enough to see 'no, kung meron bang iba pang possibilities by which yung nakasanayan mo na can unfold, differently, okay? So that's more responsibility side, and then there's the enjoyment side. There's the enjoyment side. Um, wait, responsibility muna, so I still have time, like, I'm squeezing this in. So, kapag responsibility, you're also looking at, specific timelines and metrics. So meron kang mga measurements, okay? Because outcomes, especially the external observable outcomes or what other people are holding us accountable to perform, yun ay kumbaga merong way to gauge, okay, kung pasok ba dun sa standard o hindi. Name-measure yun, nabibilang, okey, natatantya. Um, there's a sense na, time-wise, for anything that can be measured, that's usually time and money, mas nagiging, preferable na bantayan o maging basehan if things are working or not, okey. Um, mas malaki ba yung kinikita mo? Mas malaya ka ba sa oras mo? Okey. And nakakatawa 'to kasi yun yung measurements on the responsibility side na, kapag mas nagagampanan mo yung responsibility mo, you get rewarded for it by, having more money or having more time, okey. Pero ang napapansin ko rin is this, the people na mas geared towards responsibility, for the most part, kung paano naka-structure yung mundo right now, eto yung nagfo-fall into basta maging consistent ka, magkakaroon din ng bunga yung tinanim mo, okey? So, as long as you're consistent in what you do, you'll be successful basically. So that's where the responsibility fall into, no? Um, but it's also the same, like from that same pool of people, you get examples na working for, like most of their life, pero afterwards, like example, by retirement, it doesn't really add up, na parang hindi sulit yung ano, yung nagiging kinakalabasan of, the exercise of being super responsible. Um, so hindi lang siya about consistency dapat, eh. Na if you have a specific role and function at dun umiikot like kung saan mo binubuhos yung oras at, like yung oras mo basically, energy mo. Um, the idea is choosing, something just based on responsibility doesn't always necessarily mean na higher value siya over time. So there's the sense of just being consistent, it doesn't always, uh, give you the best kinds of result. Okay? Okay. So, maubusan na ng oras, so I'll just touch on the other side, which is enjoyment. Okay. So, when it comes to enjoyment, there's, actually less respect, sa resources. Yung pagbibilang or pagkakaroon ng metrics, uh, when it comes to the tangibles like time and money, it's usually hindi sa hindi mahalaga, pero people geared towards enjoyment tend to, from the perspective of responsible people, waste time and waste money. Okay? From the perspective of the people actually, spending their time and money, it doesn't feel like a waste. It doesn't feel like a waste. Kaya lang minsan nagkakaroon ng regret in spending time and money the way they have spent it kapag nagka-clash na lang talaga yon with other stuff in life. Kapag meron na lang talaga nag-aagawan. kasi kulang yung resources na yun in the first place. O meron ng naapektuhan o meron ng consequences. Okay. So, the enjoyment side, people who gear towards that is more about the experience, more exploring, more trying new things, and yung paghahanap ng panibagong flavor of what can be, experienced basically, okay. Now, if we relate that from yung kanina, yung sa responsibility na side, a person, uh, who is more on the enjoyment side, they are risk takers, okay? That can be a pro, that can be a con, okay? Merong mga bagay na para masimulan, merong kailangang mauna. Para merong maging kasunod, merong daan yung mga susunod, kailangan merong maging role model. Kailangan merong trailblazer. Kailangan merong mag-iisip ng differently, looking at things from different angles, and then siya yung courageous enough na subukan yun, right? Um, People who gear towards enjoyment, mas marami yung nanggagaling sa pool na 'to of, uh, innovation. That's the term. Innovating things, finding a way to do things differently, eh. And, well, lalabas na dito yung bias ko, okey, kasi onti na lang yung oras ko. I wish I could have expounded it more, but here's where I see na more people, especially if you desire to be a long game entrepreneur, if gusto mo talaga na mag-build ng business long term, yung tipong yun yung ano, magiging bread and butter mo, um, you need to practice. Kung wala ka pa dun, kung hindi mo natural sa'yo yung enjoyment side, especially for your business or like in other aspects of life, makikita mo kasi kung ano yung mas lamang, okey. 'Pag tiningnan mo yung dalawang ends of the spectrum and tiningnan mo yung iba't ibang areas ng buhay mo, okey, ano yung mas lamang? Mas overall responsibility, team responsibility ka ba o mas overall team enjoyment ka ba? Okey. Because if you want to, succeed in something long term, not just in business, but especially in business, okay, it needs to be something enjoyable sa'yo. Enjoyable enough to be sustainable, okey? Hindi ibig sabihin walang responsibility included, pero mas nangingibabaw yung sense of joy. Um, because the idea with entrepreneurship is araw-araw sino-solve mo yung problema ng market or markets na sine-serve mo. You are facing problems head-on, okay? And it's not the usual thing for human beings. We actually see threat from afar and kumbaga either nilalayuan na kaagad natin yung threat na yun o yung risk na yun and, or gumagawa na tayo ng paraan to actually cope with it kung sakaling kailangan natin yung harapin. However, here are entrepreneurs and your opportunities to build a long-term, thriving, sustainable, profitable business lies with facing other people's problems head on. Of course, including your own, 'di ba? But the idea is risk taking, being at the front lines of solving problems. If ka more on the enjoyment side of like and all, and being in the moment, what usually happens is, more energy will be required of you kapag mas responsibility yung tingin mo sa pag-solve sa problem ng ibang tao. Mas malaki yung energy na nako-consume at resources na nako-consume from your end. Gosh, I wish I have more time. I'd probably do like a different related episode to this moving forward. But yeah, time's up for now. Final words for season 2, episode 2. Um, Alamin mo kung saan yung mas natural sa'yo dun sa dalawa in different areas of life. And then, for fellow entrepreneurs, practice more of the enjoyment mode. Kung puwedeng i-turn off mo muna from time to time kung ano yung magiging tingin mo sa outcome, okey? So you're not doing things for the sake of the best results. You're doing things because you want to enjoy the process of discovering how your business can unfold. Cover your bases and practice that because most of your opportunities, limiting beliefs, even yung fears, they are attached to like an outcome-based thinking versus a process or progress-based thinking. So, yun lang naman. And yeah, I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Kage thoughts for season 3. Uh, I'm gonna decide now on an episode. Let me just pull that up. The episode for tomorrow, okay, will be about taking action versus thinking. Okay. Overdoers tsaka overthinkers yung ipipit natin, against bukas. Just to see kung nasaan man tayo dun sa end of the spectrum na yun and how we can make the most out of it. Yeah. So cheers everyone.